Everybody, welcome to STEAM activities for primary plus students for remote learning or in the classroom. My name is Andrea Taskey Trusty, and I am an education and community partnership program mental health teacher. I've been working with the TDSB for over 15 years in special education, supporting students and their families. Today, as I read our land acknowledgement, I invite you to reflect on past and ongoing systemic oppression of Indigenous people and consider what steps you are taking toward reconciliation. We acknowledge we are hosted on the lands of the Mississauga of the Anishinaabe, the Haudenosaunee Confederacy, and the Wendat. We also recognize the enduring presence of First Nation, Métis, and Inuit people. Today's session, we'll be talking about the awesomeness that are STEAM challenges, basically the benefits, how to get started and how to get inspired, and simple challenges you can do today. Some of the benefits, or as I like to call it, the awesomeness of STEAM challenges. One, the opportunity for creativity and ingenuity. Students are always looking for different ways to express themselves. We're looking for ways to engage and shake up our lessons, and STEAM challenges are one of the best ways to do it. Two, resilience and problem solving. I love it when the experiments or the challenges don't go right the first time. It is a very safe place for students to try out new things, a safe place for them to have these small failures so they can learn to persevere and try again and look at something that happened, maybe not the way they had planned it, and problem solve it to try to figure out how to make it work while you're there to support them. Three, great way to teach them about experimentation and adaptation. We'll look at different ways we could go about doing our STEAM challenges today, but also looking at our current situation and how things in the world have changed, how we're doing our lessons. STEAM challenges support that change of thinking, this new way of doing new things, which is, again, a great place for them to do it in a supportive environment with you. And the last one, it's a great activity to build collaboration and communication from student to student, from student to teacher, with their families and their community as well. What a great way to start a lesson than with a book. I find students from kindergarten all the way to grade 8 love picture books still to this day, whether you have them at home in your library, or there are a lot of great videos online as well that you can share with them if you don't have access to the books, because we are doing remote learning. Great way to engage the students, wake them up, get their wheels turning and thinking about what they can invent and what they can do differently with what they have. Another way I like to start my STEAM challenges is talking about steamers. I don't know if that's a word, I may have just made it up, but it's a way to show students different people that maybe they identify with, maybe other people that they would have never met otherwise that are across the world doing really neat things in the STEAM careers. It could be done through videos. I use TED Talks often, or TVO also has a lot of great programs about different people in the STEAM field. I love the podcast Goodnight Rebel Girls, and they have lots of stories of different women around the world and across history that have really persevered and done different new things in the STEAM field as well as other fields. But there's lots of great other podcasts out there to check out and have them really engage in some active listening and hear some different voices for a little while. I know a lot of our students like the change up, and it really helps their attention when they're listening to different voices, different people. So podcasts are a really great way to do that with our students. And the other thing is having them interview a guest speaker, whether it is through the Google Meets or Zoom, or however our students are connecting today. That's always a great option for them to talk to an expert in the STEAM field if you have connections with them. And again, what a great opportunity right now when we are doing remote learning and everyone's working remotely. So maybe a guest speaker who wouldn't have been able to come into the classroom and speak to the students may be much more accessible now that everyone is virtual. It's our time to get creative. I have a fantastic STEAM trolley in our classroom with all the different materials and resources they may be able to use, but we are all remote learning right now, and I don't have access, and neither do the students. So this is a great time to think about our students that we're teaching, what they might have access to at home, what they may not. Are they in a house? Are they in an apartment? Are they downtown? Are they in the suburbs? Are they staying with their families? Are they staying with grandparents right now? What all of our students are going through is a little bit different. Do they have many other siblings at home that are learning? Do they have limited access to technology? Do they have limited access to different resources, craft supplies, whatnot? So I like to keep it super simple when I'm doing my activities. It could be something that they're going to follow along with the video, but if they don't have a lot of access to technology, maybe they're sharing their laptop or technology with their family at home. So I'd like to keep it nice and simple for them. And as far as resources, I hit my recycling bin. There's lots of great ways to look at what we are already using in our home and what we have access to for the students to really get creative. For myself to get creative, pick up something I might find that I would have recycled or used a different way and look at it in a brand new light. How do we get started? At the beginning, I was very intimidated by doing STEAM challenges. I thought, who am I to teach these kids to invent these amazing things that will change the world? How am I going to do that? Well, I started by just bringing in some recycling. And all I said is, here's some materials, make something new. And the ball got rolling. The students absolutely loved it. We had a challenge where one student actually, and I encouraged the families to bring recycling into the classroom as well, brought in a bunch of KD boxes that they didn't that family ate a lot of, and we had enough for all the students. So the challenge was, here's a KD box, make something different with it. And the students used all different kinds of things, and they were so passionate about their inventions. So here a student made a traffic sign. They painted one sign red, one sign green, and all they had to do was flip it, and they thought that they wanted to try it out. So we used it in the hallway, and it was really a lot of fun. We also had here a student made a recycled robot, and I said, how can your creation help someone? I love asking students that. And he said, it's going to help me listen to the stories on the carpet because he is my carpet buddy. So I thought that was a really great invention. And actually the robot had a special spot on the carpet for a couple of weeks listening to stories until that student brought that robot home. He really was engaged and had a lot of fun with this activity. And another question I'd like to ask them is, what materials do you wish you had? Sometimes they're so simple, like I wish we had duct tape because it's stronger than the masking tape. What a great science and engineering conversation to have with the student. And sometimes they're so simple. Sometimes, they'll get really technical with what some of the things that they would like for their inventions or for their creations. But again, what a great way to get their creativity going and their imagination and planning. Sometimes students will start stockpiling different things that they have in their house, whether it's yogurt containers, which is one of my favorite stacking materials, or cereal boxes, or whatever it is, chopsticks, sometimes students like to use as well. So it has them planning for their next STEAM challenge, which is amazing. So the very first challenge I really like to do with students is the tower challenge. You can see here, I have a couple different pictures of some towers we made in our house. We were a big yogurt family. And so we looked at the different kinds of um, yogurt containers, the different height and the different width, and we decided which ones would be good for the base of the tower, which ones we might want to layer or match up together, and then different combinations. And the other picture, I used some saltine crackers as a part of my tower and some soup, some different boxes. So you can see, even though you may feel you don't have all your materials from your classroom, that there are so many different kinds of materials that you can use to build a simple tower. Lots of great questions that could come out of this activity. How high do you think you can build it? What materials did you use? What materials would you like to use? Is there another way you can combine the same building materials and make it taller, make it stronger, make it longer? Another thing you can do with your students is, if they don't have materials at home, is students love live experiments. So if you're building it in your home and you are rearranging it, you can ask the students, where should I put this next? What should I start at the bottom? And they really love engaging that way too. So it's a really accessible uh, STEAM challenge to start off with. Again, they can use absolutely anything. I had one student build towers out of stuffed animals that they had in their house. Another one used all of the shoes in the house, and that was really great because he used his dad's and his brothers and his sisters, and was really able to look at the different sizes of shoes and use them to their advantage to build a really tall tower. So really, the sky is the limit. Again, get creative. Get ready for things to fall down, and really have fun with it. I think one great thing about teaching STEAM with your students is demonstrating it yourself and showing them how, wow, mine even falls down. It didn't go as high as I thought it would. Man, I wish I had. And that really scaffolding on how to go about a STEAM challenge really fosters the excitement and the interest the students have in their own challenges. Another challenge I like to do that I find kids can get really creative with at home during remote learning is just build a house. And having the students either go, sometimes they have things like Lego or K'NEX or other building materials at home. They can absolutely use that. It's really great for those kids who like to follow the instructions too. They're going to have to make something that doesn't have instructions. Again, a really great place for creativity. They could use Kleenex boxes. They can use books. I had a student build a house out of DVD cases that they had in the house, and he stacked them all up. There's playing cards, paper towel rolls, whatever the students have at home, they're able to just that very nice big umbrella of the instruction of build a house. If students have little figurines at home, they can use that to make it for their figurines. Whatever it is, for some of our students who might be a bit more advanced, challenge them to make a two-story house, an apartment building, landscape the house. So there's a lot of great opportunities and creative space that you can really specify some of these challenges for individual students or for your class in general. You could tie it in with your social studies unit as well. Build a school, build a hospital, build, any community building that you might be studying. So a really great way, again, to tie in an activity into different strands of the curriculum. You can have them write a story of the house. You can have them decorate the house. You can do lots of math potentials as well with this one is, what is, how big is the house? What kind of shapes can you use in your house? Lots of different possibilities. And this is my new favorite STEAM challenge, which I found in this YouTube video. They do a really great job showing you how to fold a simple piece of paper. And I actually used um, flyers that I get every day that's dropped off in front of my house. I know sometimes students can access flyers at the front of their building, or you can even use the free newspapers or flyers you get when you go grocery shopping. Or even I made one of my links out of an old bill that I had already paid. So paper is at home. It doesn't have to be brand new photocopy paper like we might have access to school. We want to teach the kids how to recycle what we have already. And this activity actually didn't even use tape or scissors. So again, making the resources that our students are able to access at home um, equitable across houses. Hopefully everyone has a little bit of piece of paper, and they can also do it at different sizes as well. So I really like this activity because I do feel that many students are able to access the materials for this one. Here in the video above, um, they demonstrate very well and very slowly how the students can fold the paper to create links. And then at the bottom here, I have a demonstration of me actually doing it, because when you watch it, it seems too good to be true. So I had to try it out for myself. When I saw this video, I couldn't believe it that a simple piece of paper can lift a really heavy weight. I did have some students try it up to 30 pounds they were able to lift. The only addition I would add to the video on how to make it is for the students, I actually made sure to let them know to place an X where the paper overlapped. And when you watch the video, that will make total sense. So when they lined up their links, they would be less likely to break. This one had a really high possibility of the chain breaking on the students when they were first testing it out, because it is very specific on where you place the weight in the chain, which really just opens up a great conversation about science, about engineering, and about how does this work. Students wanted to try different kinds of paper. They tried thicker paper, and actually it didn't work because it was harder to fold. So this activity, we had some students want to give up, and we said, no, you could do it. And that was, again, an activity that I made sure I did at the same time to show them, no, this isn't a magical video on YouTube. I'm doing it too. This is what I found. And I showed them different ways to go about and problem solve it. And they ended up getting it, which was really great. And the reward, we talked about the benefits before of STEAM, but the reward of a student um, being successful in their challenge is immeasurable. Another great challenge with a simple piece of paper from a flyer or an old bill or an old envelope or maybe some old notes they have at home is the paper cup or the paper boat challenge. Again, lots of a very inexpensive way for them to explore buoyancy, measurement, talking about different liquids and solids, different states of matter. Um, at home, they could do this in their bathroom sink. They can do this in their kitchen. They can make it very big. They could take it outside. Lots of different variety options for students at a very low cost. Again, recyclable material is awesome. They could also do lots of variations of maybe try to make a boat out of a old cream container they have at home, or any other kind of containers that they might have at home for food or other, to check the buoyancy or how much capacity it might have in comparison, different shapes. And again, these are just some videos that I'm recommending in this presentation, but the more you go out there and look on YouTube, different kind of videos, different ways to fold things, different resources, have the students compare, have tried different strategy to make a cup or a boat, and see how they compare. And the students really do enjoy it. Have them share it with you. It could either be done live, or I like to have my students complete their notes with Google Slides. And at the end, I'll show you where my website is if you wanted to check out some of the slides that I share with my students to have them share the results with each other and with myself. But even just doing it live and having the students hold it up to the camera, they love that. Is always a great way. Again, there's that communication and collaboration. It's a great time to kind of say, okay, everybody, you know, Andy made their boat, but it's not floating. What can we, how can we help Andy fix that boat in a way that it can help it float? Does anybody have any suggestions? So the students really like helping that out, and they'll see how other students may do it differently. And they'll say, hey, you know, Andy, I really liked how you did that. That was really cool. I like that you added a sail or whatever it is. So a really great opportunity for students to try something different. This activity is a little bit more advanced than maybe a grade 1 or 2. I did do this activity with my daughter who's in grade 5. We were inspired by the fact that we have so many plastic bags. With the pandemic right now, we aren't using our reusable bags as much as we wish we could. When we're getting groceries. So we have too many plastic bags at home. It really was tearing us up that we have all this extra garbage. So we were looking into different um, STEAM challenges or different things we could do with the plastic bags to use them and reuse them. And we found this plastic bag skipping rope, and we had so much fun with it. It takes a little bit of coordination because there's a weaving component to it, and we did need scissors. So that would be different kind of materials. Perhaps the students might need a bit more support. I do try to assign STEAM challenges where parents do not, or family members do not need to help too much. I know that a lot of families and grown-ups at home are doing their best to juggle all their students at home or the children at home, also their jobs as well. So I try not to send too or any homework for the grown-ups to do, but for the students to do it independently. So this one did take a little bit more adult support because we needed some big scissors to cut the bags, which was a little bit trickier than I thought it would be. So it's a bit above craft scissors, and the families would need to have some good scissors at home. And also it took a little bit of time and work. So the students would have to really persevere. My daughter and myself kind of took turns braiding it. But we made a skipping rope out of plastic bags, and she loves it, which is worth all the effort. She actually has been skipping every day since. It's actually a better quality than the skipping rope that she had that was store-bought before, because it's actually nice and heavy. So when she's doing her tricks and stuff like that, it's a nice heavy rope. So again, a really fun way to take something that we had at home already, and that many do have access to, plastic bags, and try to make it into something more useful. We thought about all the different kinds of ways that this type of engineering can help other people where they maybe not have a rope or something to tie something together. You know, the conversation about if you had to make a life raft, would this work? To tie different pieces of woods together, or a shelter, or, you know, the list goes on. So really great place for conversation that goes beyond a skipping rope. And also, who might also want a skipping rope that may not afford it or have access to it. So that opened up a great conversation about different families and kids around the world as well. So again, what can be a one activity can really lead to really great discussions as well. So that's it for my activities that I have to share today. It's always a work in progress. I'm always looking for new ideas, trying out new things. If you're looking for more information, please check out me on Twitter. I try to tweet as much as possible. I'm getting better at it though. And also I do have some of these resources and more at Trusty Teacher website, where I try to share whatever I'm learning about, whatever I'm doing with other teachers, because I feel the more that we work together, the greater opportunity it is for our students. So thank you again for joining us. One last thing, if you have a moment and you don't mind sharing with me that you did watch my video and you want to give me some feedback, or if you have any other questions, please click on this link or type in this bit.ly and just let me know what you thought, if there was anything else you're hoping that I would share with you today, and that would be great. So thanks again for participating and watching my video, and I hope to look to hear from you soon, and happy steam challenging.